Hey, what's going on, guys? Andy Games here, and we got something a little bit different today. We have a tier list video for you. Today, we are going to go over a couple things with our Survivor. We're going to go over overall seasons, um, winners, the idols, and team immunities, kind of what they all looked like, and tiering all of them. Why not? Just going through, seeing what, in my opinion, I think the seasons are. I was gonna do cast as well, but that kind of goes into like the season. So yeah, let's get right into it. We're gonna start with season slash cast, like I was talking about. And the first one we're gonna go with is season one. We're just gonna do them in order: Survivor Vietnam. Now, Survivor Vietnam, I feel like was the beginning of the idea of what we're going to do, which is these custom Survivor seasons, seeing what we can do with them. And I had a lot of fun making this one. I asked a couple people to, but a couple, I asked for the whole cast pretty much, but two people to be chosen by you guys. Not you, when I say you guys, at the time it was a lot of my friends watching, so I said, hey, yeah, I know you don't watch Survivor, but pick someone. And each person picked someone. Got a whole cast out of that, and it was a great season, a great winner. I feel like we have almost a GOAT that won somehow with Dawn. And we had probably the most people for potential of season 10 coming in from this season. But you have people like Michelle, Sierra, Desi, Yule, um, Rob, Suri, Ethan. Like they're all like such notable players. Stacy, even Amanda and that beginning tribe, Amanda, Wu, and Andrew Savage. To me, season one set the bar super high as there we go. It is a S tier for me. Going into Survivor Peru. Now Survivor Peru was an interesting season. And for me, I feel like it had another great winner. But when you think about it, it wasn't as much as a strong power, it was more of this one person that made six people's games possible, and that was with Russell, Tony, Joe, Stephanie. I said six, I meant five, and Greg. And four of the five people made the final five. One got blindsided with an idol, and he got 11th place, and that's the guy that got fifth place, Mike. And even I keep looking back at even Philip, who got seventh. I mean, it was first season with captains. It's a decent cast. I feel like I said, the top, I want to say like seven are really good, and then Greg, who got 11th, because he was doing that. But a lot of people this season were kind of laying back. First season, I had two Australian players, which was Jarrett Sang and Mark Wales, who got last, but it was just because everyone was scared of him, pretty much. The big, muscly dude. But overall, the season, I feel like it had good villain winner, had a lot of good idol plays and finds. The Muni necklace is going all over the place. And besides the alliance, I feel like it was a very hidden alliance, which is pretty good. So for me, I'm gonna give it for now, I'm gonna give it a B tier. It's good enough for that. Now, here's one I'm not going to be as nice with talking about. I feel like I brought it up in the past. Survivor Season 3 Celebrities is not an awful season, but if you fought Season 2, it was dominated by one alliance and then a couple people who were trying to work together. This one was more of, hey, we're going to make an alliance of four, which is Bill Nye, Dot Richardson, Tony Brown, Jenna Fisher. And they said, yeah, we're gonna lead the whole game, and all the other celebrities kind of just were there. I do give some other credit. Obviously, Kanye West, he was winning immunities. Tyreek Hill, who got eighth, he was doing good. He helped get, I feel like, Kanye and Toby out because he helped Ryan Howard use Dial, and even Sandra Bullock had a case to being a good player, but she was medevac. But cast wise and just I honestly, it was the only time when editing one I felt boredom, legit boredom, and it was only for the factor of, I mean, if you go back and watch it, you probably see just why. It was just the factor of no one else made an alliance that season. Like I think there was two that were made, and they were both ended so fast that there wasn't anything that anyone did. So it's gonna be a D tier for me. Yeah, we're going S, P, and D. Yeah, we're going all over the place right now, but that's all right. The next season we're going to talk about is Survivor Botswana, and it was honestly the only other time where I felt like, is this going to be a good series on my channel? Because it started off again with a strong four, but this time, that same strong four made it to the end. It was just more of Keith. I'm just thinking of players off the top of my head. Keith, um, Chris, both of them, put them as potential players, and then people like Sundra and John. If there wasn't two medevacs from the original Suna tribe, or did I say Suna? It was the Suala tribe. I always forget. Suala and Katengo tribe. Yeah, the four from Katengo, they dominated their original tribe, and then I think the merge. If the medevacs weren't there, that's the only reason I give it credit. If the medevacs weren't there, we could have seen a different game, but because of that, it went from, I think it was 11-1 vote to like 8-3, and then the medevacs back there it was like 7-1, 6-1, 4-2, 4-1. Like it was, everyone's just getting cut off, and it has the most robbed winner in my opinion due to that final challenge. It was a three-way tie, and yeah, we'll talk about the winner more later. But for now, I'm gonna give it a C tier. We're going to the next season, Survivor Madagascar, and this one, again, very good cast. I feel like it has one of our top winners so far in Jessica Pete, and that's for the factor of it was a final two, and she decided she was going to bring one of the non-nice players, let's say that, because he was very rude to other players around, and it made her have a definitely easy final tribal, and that's why she has a great chance to play again. She was very smart with that. We had a very underrated, after making the videos looking, very underrated third place finisher in Ronnie, just because he had like a more underdog but quiet game. Tracy, like I said before with Tracy, she was someone who, um, if not Medevac, could have won the game, in my opinion. While I was doing Matt and Susie, they're both, I like them. The fact that Susie beat Matt for immunity, that's just, I feel like, is the main factor why I liked Susie from the season. Besides that, there's no one. The early pre merge kind of is what, it's a definitely better post merge than pre merge. And for me, with Madagascar, I'm going to give it a B tier just for the factor of it tries to give you that level of a strong post merge, but if the pre merge is better, it would definitely be an A tier. And now we're gonna go to season 6, the Bahamas. Season 6 is the first season with Redemption Island, and it's one of those seasons that, because of that redemption part, it really helps its case. I mean, we have a lot of great players from this season. We got Pat, who won, Nick, his right hand man. They brought a goat to the end, so it was between them two with Jenna. Danny Boatwright, she got fourth place, from Redemption, came back. Jesse was going to. I'm thinking Jesse was one of the couple people that didn't go to Redemption besides the other three, and then Robert DeCanio and Hunter. I mean, Hunter's just, I feel like he's known from his like 12 days of Redemption, but Robert came back at the merge. He was the guy who got out at like day 18 or whatever it was, day 19, day 18, came back, and then he made it all the way to day 35. If there wasn't Redemption, well, after that first one, he would have got fifth place, but he finishes in eighth because he did bad in the final challenge. You get back. But overall, it's just a strong cast. I mean, this one also is Vince, who was leading the two of Pat and Nick, and they decided to take him out so they had more power. I feel like there was a lot of moves this season with that. Um, Todd's in this, Amy. I feel like even pre-merge, Dan K got blindsided. I mean, T-Bird I thought was going to do well, and she didn't do as well as I thought. But hey, I mean, it's a very strong cast and a very fun season that I recorded. That's going to get A tier for me. And it was one of those seasons where definitely a lot of those players could come back. I put a good amount of them in there, I feel like, which is good. And then we'll go to our seventh season, the first theme season I did, and I'm very happy I did it. And that is Survivor Pirate Island. Still in the Bahamas, but Pirate Island it is. And this season is a little confusing for me in my head. And the reason for that is it's got a good cast. We got good players. The winner, Boo. good. Lee, Abby, Joel, Spencer. The first like five, I really like. Brooke plays a really good game too. Michelle coming back, first person from the Pirate Twist to come back. Rupert's good, and then also Lucy got screwed from the Pirate Twist. So I mean, there's a lot of good feelings from this season. I feel like it was between Joel and Boo a lot between the challenges, and eventually Joel gets taken out, and it really this season comes down to the challenges, like who won immunities. That's what it felt like. That's why it's a little more lower on the lower side, but the fun theme helps it. For me, it's definitely a C tier season, but the theme of it makes it, I feel like, a little better, where it could reach eventually that B tier over time. But for now, for me, I'm gonna say C. Going to Jamaica. Jamaica was the first season besides the celebrities that was reality stars, but not from Survivor. It was all Big Brother players, and we have one of our smartest winners in Erica here. Vanessa's in this as well. We got Jace, the only man that felt like he was surviving the whole time. Jen's an underrated player. Brittany's a top tier player. Janelle's a very good player. We got Howie who went out at the merge, and Libra who decided to flip from all the women tribe and the men tribe. It was women and men in the beginning. She's the only one that decided to take the bottle because every time you won a reward, someone would go to um oh my god, Exile Island. I'm sorry, I'm like blanking out for a sec there. Exile Island. She's the only one that said I'm gonna go with the boys. She just almost made the merge, but she was taken out, and that could have helped their game. But I feel like overall, it's a very strong cast. It's a more, I'd say, definitely a fun cast, and I feel like over time, like I said with this one, C to B, this could definitely go to A tier over time. Just for now, I feel like it's a B tier season. And the last one we got is good old Hawaii. I mean, this season is filled from head to toe with crazy players. We got B who wins, probably top social game we've seen so far, as well as we got Ozzy, top challenge game so far. We got number one Sharin, who Sharin does pretty well but gets taken out at day 4. We have Stephanie who gets third. Tanya and Daniel are such a good duo. There's a lot of duos this season. Ozzy and Sharon, Stephanie and B, Tanya and Daniel. The three duos at the end, it reminds me of season 18 of Big Brother, like the three duos there. I watch my shows. I watch my shows, but we got Cole as well, and then before the pre-merge, even like Patrick and Austin, I said in the recording, like in a failed one, they argued a bunch. So like we a couple hotheads on the season. All overall pre-merge and post-merge, I feel like we're so good, and the idol plays were great this season that this is an S tier season. All right, with that, we will move on to our next topic. All right, and we are here now. We are here with the idols. There's a little less because Madagascar and Pirate Island 5 and 7, those seasons did not have idols. Um, Hopefully some of these items look like they're cutting off a little, but I will fix it if needed. I'll put it on the side of the screen. First one we have is actually a little shocker. So I never really brought it up, but for the first season of Vietnam, I had idols, individual and team immunities saved. Decided to just never put them in because back then I was like, oh, why would I put them in for editing reasons? I don't know why I did that, but the first one is here. It is such a beautiful little necklace that I had this season I picked out, and that's why I'm sad because it is one of my favorite ones that we've had. And for it, it's just I don't know, I just like the look of it overall. It's just like a nice little one you can wear around your neck, a little head for the Vietnamese culture I found. So for this one, it is one of my favorites. So I'm gonna put it at A tier. Looks super nice. One on here that we're going to next is Peru. With Peru, it was a Peruvian like doll that was like being held in the sculpture. When it hit my eyes, I knew I wanted it for the season. Looking now at it, it's an okay idol. Again, it's one in your pocket, one of those little bigger ones compared to like some of the necklace ones we have. But for it, for Peru especially, Mike White was holding these. I'm gonna put it at C tier. It's okay. It's an okay idol. I'm gonna keep continue, try and get better ones throughout time. And the next one is the celeb idol, and I feel like for the season, it's gonna get a little extra for me. It's gonna be a B tier, and The reason is just because the celebrities, they got the stars and all that, and their individual and team immunities. We'll see that as well, and I feel like it just fits the theme of that season really well. For Survivor Botswana, we have here I'm gonna put it on the side of the screen, but it is like a necklace with like rocks going down and a nice little bottom to it. It's a pretty idol. I feel like it's another one that's nice where it's gonna get a B tier ranking from me. It's nothing super crazy, but at the same time, for that season, just because of the area and everything, it looks like it fits the theme super well. Like I said, Madagascar. I should have did like an N/A, put their logo in, but it's fine. The next one is Bahamas, and this one right here is my favorite idol we've had so far. It's just a nice black necklace, a little white at the bottom, and then it's like a white, almost like tooth. It looks like, but like black paint dripping down it. It is such a beautiful design as well. It is definitely the best one so far. So is our S tier of the idols we have. And the next one we have is for Jamaica. And Jamaica for season 8. Um, this one is kind of like Peru's. I'm noticing I like the necklace ones more besides the celebrity one, but I feel like Jamaica, this one just didn't fit the theme as much as the others. It's still nice. It's just one of those. This is like the biggest one you'd have to hide, and when you're hiding Britain, you had to hide it somewhere where no one knows, maybe like in her sock or something like, or a shoe. Like you have to hide that super well. But I'm gonna put that C tier. This is definitely here. Also, I'm gonna put this one above that one. I didn't do it on the first thing. Also, I fixed the tier list thing. I realized I was on the wrong screen. And for Hawaii, we have two idols here because this is the introduction of the super idol as well as a regular idol. The regular idol, it fits the theme really nice of Hawaii. I mean, it's like the Moana looking like sword he has in the movie. But for them, I think compared just to the Super Idol, it was a little lower. But it's definitely the top C tier one. Let me move this in, but this is definitely the top C tier out of all of them. It's just not as nice as I thought compared to the other ones. The next one we have though is definitely a beautiful color. It's just like uh a ray. Also like the Moana theme actually, like a ray. This one it's a golden super idol, but there's like water filled inside. I feel like that just fits the theme there. Beautiful scenery with a beautiful idol that Cole got to use, and that for this is going to be our A tier. This is the final look. Nothing past C, but this definitely could be closer to D. But it's for now in our history, it's going to be at C tier, and we'll move on next to the team and individual immunities. All right, and we are back this time with the team immunity this season. This is before the merge, where everyone they hold the little trophy up when they win as a team. We're gonna go right into it. We have 9 this time, unlike the idols. There's every season had one. We're gonna start with Vietnam, the one I selected but didn't put in there. It's a nice. This one I'm gonna have all of them on the right, but this one it's a nice little golden statue of Vietnam. It's like almost like a I don't want to say like a Buddha statue, but almost like a statue where they're laying out, look relaxed, looking like they're on an island. And I feel like for this season for Vietnam, it was a nice color. Like I said, I wish I put it in the first season, but I didn't. So here it is. For me personally, I feel like the colors of it, the golden look of it, it gives it a nice feel. So with that, it's gonna be a B tier. And for the first season, it was 2 teams of 3, or 3 teams of 6. I don't know. I said 2 teams, 3 teams of 6. So there was 2 of the same one that first season because I didn't think of a second place one or whatnot. Next season is Peru, and honestly, Peru is not my favorite statue. It kind of, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, most of these are pretty mid, in my opinion. Now looking back at them, I just feel like I could have found better ones. Peru for me personally, it just the color's gone. Obviously, it looks like the Empire though. The Empire of Incas was I named it Peru Empire of Incas, so it gives it that feel, which is lucky enough. If not, it would have been a D tier, but I'm gonna give it C tier because it matches the season really well. Speaking of matching the season, Survivor Celebrity Season 3 is we got this golden trophy. Personally, it's probably the best thing from this season. I'm gonna give it an A tier, and just because, like I said, it's a gold look. It's like the Slammy, they win. Not Slammy. Why did I say Slammy? I just thinking of the WWE word when I was younger. Grammy. Um, yeah, it's like the Grammy look. So when they had the whole team like got to hold it as one, it was a big one. So it's probably the best thing so far. Coming up to it, and then we went to Botswana again. This I kind of went with the lion this season. And it was just because the theme was like, oh, first season Africa. I thought it'd be a really nice symbol of it. And I mean, back then, I still think it's nice. I do think it's better than Peru's, so I'm gonna switch the order. But it's also gonna go in the C tier. Nothing crazy. This next season is Survivor Madagascar. We didn't see him last season because there was no idol. Or last season. Wow, what's wrong with me today? But they have the two trophies here again. This one has more of a bronze look, and the one I feel like just looking at the picture, the one on the left just has more a bit of like a flash of like that gold color, and that was because there's three tribes this season. It was a great look, and yeah. So with this one, for me personally, I give it a B tier. I like it. We're starting to get into ones I like a bit more than the next two. Which next one is the Bahamas one. And this one just overall the design on it just looks so nice. And it's definitely gonna take the top spot. Not S tier, but it's gonna take the A tier spot. Just the design on it, the color. It's almost like a rustic feel for this one, but like just all the designs in it give it better. And speaking of a theme season, because actually, when you think about it, Celebrities was like the first theme season. Second one's Pirate Island. Pirate Island is an instant S tier. Just looking at like you can look at it as a squid, you can look at it as a kraken. I see it as a kraken holding the chest, and like the chest is like the winning, and you get to hold that. You get to hold your team that you won the chest in Pirate Island. Good theme. I feel like that's definitely my S tier so far. For Jamaica, again, we kind of go back a couple seasons now. We go back to like a lower tier for me. Jamaica is definitely a great season, but this statue I gave him, like I thought at the time looked good. Originally when I thought it was B tier, just compared to the others though, it's honestly the lowest one so far with a D tier. And we go to Hawaii. I mean Hawaii is another one of three tribes, but this time I gave him again like the same like Vietnam, the feel of like this one's just like a tall statue with the hole and it breaks into two pieces was originally my idea. I mean, I like the concept. The concept's gonna help it definitely get into the B tier, but nothing past that because honestly, it's towards like the I guess besides Bahamas, I really like the color in them. But yeah, this is gonna be the team ones, and I'll be right back with the individual one. All right, now we are here with the individual immunities, and we're going to go right into it with Survivor Vietnam's one. Again, not seen on screen originally, but I liked this when I found it online originally for the first season. It has like three claws on each side and that little front. It almost reminds me of like a bug's like front of their head with like three legs on the side and just like a little bit of jewels on it. It's very nice. I One of my favorite things with all these is finding the looks of all the immunity necklaces. I feel like it's something that's just fun scrolling through online, seeing what goes with everything. But Vietnam's, I feel like looking back at it now, it's definitely a lower tier. I'm always between, I'll start with D. It may move to C, depending how I feel. As we go to Peru, Peru's definitely took a step up. It's got all the gems going around. I have like a metal bar that like detaches in the back if you see it. Like I'm just gonna look right here. You see the little bar here, this little line connects back in, like putting around your neck. It's super easy, and also the little look at the bottom of the gems. I just feel like it's such a beautiful looking one. It's definitely gonna be a B tier for me personally. One of my favorites, and I feel like I had F tier. Nothing's been F tier yet. We're getting something right here. The I I just chose a different trophy, and for me, I feel like I should have went back and picked something like a golden like necklace, even like something like big, like gold chain, like all like celebrities wear. That's what I feel like at this point would have been better. It's our first F tier, and honestly, looking at that, I feel like Vietnam. I don't know. I'm gonna keep it D still. Um, Survivor Botswana. It's probably the least nice looking one, but also it matches the theme a lot better than most. I feel like just looking at it, the look is just like, oh, it's just a couple beads and rocks that you put around your neck and it connects right there. But for me, it's it's nice. It's gonna be a C tier. Actually, I'm gonna keep this D tier for now. I know the Vietnam one. Looking at it, I mean, it has a little more design than that one, but just like personally, I feel like there's better ones coming, 100%. And just with the beads of the Botswana one, it's really nice. I give it a C tier. Next one, Madagascar. Madagascar one before one we're gonna talk about is the most designed. I feel like the colors on it work. There's a little bit of like the tooth looks on like the top there, and it's just a beautiful necklace. I'm gonna put this one 100% in A tier. It's definitely one that I really really like. And the next one as well, we're gonna go right into with Bahamas. Sarai Bahama, I feel like has a lot of high tiers on this so far, and I can see why. Just look at the colors of this one, all the bead colors going around perfectly. Got the chain look, so it's got like six going down. Looks super nice. It's again gonna be another A tier. Honestly, I'm gonna put it above Madagascar just because I really like the colors. They can go back and forth between the two. Because looking back again now, I'm like, oh, the teeth look on the Madagascar look great. But we'll go to another great one in my opinion, and that is Pirate Island. Pirate Islands, it's just kind of made of like some old like stuff you'd find around a chest or like whatnot. It's like nothing too crazy going on with it. It's just a nice little design, kind of like Botswana's, but I like it a little bit more. Not as much Peru's. It's gonna be a B tier, but still really really nice. Honestly, I feel like it just looks nice with all the little beads you see on it. It gives it that pirate feel of like I just opened a treasure chest. Now it's around my neck. Next one, Jamaica. Jamaica is a little bit of a downgrade, honestly. I'm gonna tell you right away. It's gonna go into again. I'm between these two. Honestly, between these two, I think the Jamaica one's worse. So I'm gonna have to put it here. You know what? You move up the C tier for now, Vietnam, because I have to. But just I don't know. I like the bead look at the top. Just like the bottom kind of gives it away. It just looks like a stone like slate, like straight line on it. Like nothing crazy going on with it, but I do enjoy it a lot still. Even a D tier one, like I said, it matches the season because I feel like that season was more about the players than like the props of these. But this one, I mean, I already love the design, and then thinking how Ozzy wore it 7 times, kind of making it like this is his necklace. It's an S tier. I mean, look at the seashell look of it. Looks perfect for Hawaii. It looks like honestly, like when you look at like Moana, like that movie, just like kind of like the ritual stuff. This looks like a ritual Hawaii, and people fought their hearts out for this, and Ozzy won it a lot. Only thing left to show you is the winner, so I'll be right back with that. All right, the last thing we got is our first 9 winners of the show. We'll start with Survivor Vietnam, which has probably one of the best stories still from a winner, and that is Michelle Fitzgerald. Michelle, of course, I could talk about the story each time. Was on a tribe that lost the first 3 challenges. They were down 3 to 6 to 5, I think, when they did a swap. She was the only one moved to the one tribe. I'm trying to think the color. The red, I believe. Yeah, there's red and yellow left. So the red tribe. So there was 6 red and one of her. She was an easy target, and she was able not only to maneuver her way but get information. I feel like that helped Sierra use her idol on Boston Rob, and kind of made herself go from being number 7 to being in a tight 4, and which was her, Desi, Sierra, and Dawn. And with that, I feel like after Desi won her third immunity, she was guaranteed final 3. But she worked it so well to be able to do that because Joel and Sari from her tribe that went to yellow, they both got I think ninth and eighth. So she was able to win that season. Won I believe 5-3 to 0 vote. So she definitely is an S tier for me. Just the story with her works so much better than some of these other ones coming up. Well, not better. It's just I really like her story. Survivor Peru, we have Russell Hantz here, who I feel just showed up this season and said, "Hey, right off the bat, I'm gonna work with Tony. I'm gonna work with Greg. I'm gonna work with Stephanie. And I'm gonna work with Joe. The 5 of us are gonna make a strong alliance. Because in the first season, there wasn't a strong alliance. There was maybe a 3 until maybe a 4. Like 3 was the biggest. They started with a 5-person alliance off the bat. They worked together. Besides Greg, because of an idol, they made it to Final Four with their group. kind of like season before, but they started from day one, that final. And Russell was able not only to go with the same people who were almost like all of them were villains besides Stephanie, but he was able to get 3 immunity wins. No, didn't need an idol and used. I'd say all their mindsets were used to make Mike waste his idol and instead vote Jared out there. He's definitely an A tier for me though. He's a great winner, good villain, and hopefully we'll see him back one day. Who knows? Could be this next season. Next one we're gonna go is Bill Nye, and Bill Nye, he's gonna get a little bit of drop of a rating for me. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna put him right away, just so you guys see. He's gonna be in the C tier, and the only reason that is because Bill Nye's season, no one wanted to play, but the 4 that started the game in an alliance. The first 4 in alliance, I'm pretty sure, or it's like I can't remember if there was another one on that group, but it was him, Antonio Brown, Dot Richardson, and Jenna Fisher. They're like, all right, this is the 4 making it to the end. Upper Tribe didn't make alliances until the merge, which is crazy to think that they all were just kind of chilling. Whoever votes out gets voted out. It kind of messes his ranking up. That's why if he plays again ever, I mean, we could see him possibly move up. But I'm not gonna hold him as a bad winner. He's not a bad winner. I'll say that right now. I think anything C or above is a good winner. D is like, okay, you had a decent game, but crazy you won. F is like you shouldn't have won. Speaking of which, Laura Alexander. Botswana has probably the craziest final tribal. There's a 3-way tie at the end. It comes down to a challenge because no one wants to flip their vote right there. Somehow Laura got 3. I feel like Laura, if it wasn't for one idol and one immunity win, wouldn't have anything really credited to her name besides she didn't be as mean as Erica and Jonathan. Maybe that is good strategy on her part. But for me, she's gonna be a D tier and the only D tier on this list. I feel like, if she comes back in the future, if I choose to bring her back for a season, and she plays bad, she could move to F possibly. She could be one of the worst winners. We don't know. I hope she comes back eventually. Not this season. I didn't put her as a potential one, but I hope she comes back and shows it off. Next person, Jessica Pete. Jessica Pete is the first person I feel like we get to see grow in the game, make a couple mistakes in her first tribe of because it's 3 tribes of 6 that season. So she makes the mistake, she owns up to it. Chicken flip flops, and she says, "You know what? You're gonna be great with me at the end because people are mad at you for flip flopping." And she kind of takes him and Ronnie there. I mean, Ronnie had a good chance if he made it. He was very friendly, but that season just had a lot of immunity people who like, oh, they lose immunity after winning one, they're gone. Jessica used that strategy, but stayed somewhat nice the whole time. I mean, like, I feel like she wasn't the most strategic or socially, I should say. Strategic wise, she brought a goat to the end. She knows what she was doing. She's gonna get an A tier for me, and they're even. I'm not gonna flip flop any of these people. If they're A tier, S tier, they're gonna stay there. Season 6, Pat. Pat has a great story as well. See, and the video's gonna be talking about winners for mostly, but I don't mind with this. The winners, Pat, for me, he's a great winner. He's gonna go in the B tier for me. And the only reason is I feel like his game really picks up after the final 8 or 7. Whenever he misplays his idol, he really, with Nick and Jenna, decide to take Vince out, who was like running everything. Vince was controlling it, and I feel like Vince is kind of a villain. They were just waiting to finally flip on him. Did it right time, and those 3 worked together from like final 6 onwards. I feel like if Danny made it to that final 3, one more vote, I don't know if we see him here. I don't know if Danny moves up to a higher role than even Pat, but Pat played by winning, I think, 2 mini wins and 1 idol, and him and Nick just worked well. They're probably one of the top duos we've seen, but he gets a B tier for me. Next one for me is Boo Burness from Pirate Island. For me, Boo, he played a good game. Don't get me wrong. Played a good game, but I feel like it came a lot to immunities because it was him and Joel were working together. And then there was Abby and Lee. And I feel like Boo and Joel won 6 of the 8 immunities that season. So a lot of it was their choice. They worked together. And pretty much at the end, it was Boo won. So they voted Joel out. and then Boo won again, so he voted Abby out, and that's kind of the reason why he wins. I feel like people just didn't connect with Lee as well. He didn't win immunities. He kind of went with the votes for a bit, but he also played strong. But Boo was kind of making his own decision because he was winning with Joel. They were able to control a lot of the votes that season. For that, he's going to be a C tier for me. Next person here is Survivor Jamaica, Erica Landon. I feel like this is the first time we see a nice game come out. Like someone just being super nice the whole time. She was able to not only win this season, but she was able to have two idols played for her to keep her in the game. If no one plays an idol for her, she gets, I think, eighth, or if they don't play the second one, she gets sixth. But because of that, she is able to survive in this game. Never has someone played Isle for twice, and they've lasted both of them. She outlasted Brittany. Well, I won't say outlasted Vanessa because Vanessa made it to the final two with her, but she was able to get the votes by just how friendly she was. People wanted her to stay in the game that were in her alliance, and it helped her a big way when they all went to the jury. Gonna put her right there in the B tier. And the only reason is because I feel like B is gonna have, for me, maybe a little biased right now. I don't know, but she's gonna go to A tier. B pretty much said, Erica, your strategy was great. I'm gonna add on to it by every single time we're in camp, complimenting people, hanging out with people. You saw it every time. She is probably the most social winner we've had. Strategy wasn't even the biggest part of her game. It was social game. I feel like you look at all these people. Right here, Michelle. She had social strategy, physical a little bit. Russell was physical and strategy. Right here, social strategy. Right here, I want to say just social. Pat, I mean, it was physical and strategy, mainly social strategy. I don't even know what some of these people down here. I mean, physical. I want to say just one alliance and then luck for a bit. But B played such a good game. I mean, she was able to work with Daniel, and that didn't work out. So what she did, she worked with Stephanie, and Stephanie got fourth, and that was her duo partner, and she was able to outlast someone who was probably the most physical player we've seen. But yeah, that's it. That's my tier list, guys. Just wanted to kind of put all this out here before season 10. If you want to get a quick rundown of what's going on, this is everything that's happened so far here at the tier list. If you want to watch back, I'm going to put right on the right side here the playlist to watch any of the seasons you want. And I'll see you guys soon for season 10 and possibly more stuff about it. All right, I'll see you guys later.